Welcome, everybody, and thanks for joining us to this webinar on effective employee training, and then also the new HR tools that we just released within Traintrac. So Jennifer's going to go through the bulk of the presentation. I'm just doing just the intro and comedic relief throughout. Maybe we'll see how, depending on how my Friday goes. But yeah, I'll give you a real quick overview of some of the stuff that we're working on as Milk Group, and then we'll go right into this presentation that Jennifer put together. And for those of you that don't know us that well, we're a tech company in the dairy space. Here are some of us displayed in Michelle's apartment. This was before COVID. Since then, we haven't gotten together, just like anybody else. But we do like to have fun. We do get a lot of things done because we are nimble, where we really work together well, and we take into account a lot of our customer feedback. So that goes into all of our products, whether it's our feed program that's been out for a little over a year, Traintrac, which we're going to talk a little bit more about today, or pulsation monitors, which really help you keep your milking machines working properly all the time. And on the pulsation side, or actually on the sensor side, we are releasing a new product that's going to be all around sanitation. So bulk tank wash, pipeline wash, pH levels, temperatures, those types of things, and you will get alerts when things are not going the way they're supposed to. All of our products are cloud-based, so we can provide support remotely, and we do that around the clock for all the things that are urgent. And yeah, with that, if you guys have any questions about Milk Group or want to get demos about one of our products, you go to milkgroup.com, you can submit to get a demo, and we'll get back to you right away. But without any further ado, what Jennifer will go ahead and go through this presentation. She'll give you a real quick overview on Traintrac, so you guys are all on the same page. And then we'll talk about some of these new HR tools that we've just added to Traintrac. So with that, Jennifer, you just have to let me know when to advance the slide.
All right. Thanks, Raphael. And thanks, everyone, for joining today. It's my pleasure to talk a little bit about effective training and tell you a little bit about Traintrac and some of the new tools that we've added. We've surveyed, did market research with producers across the United States, and a growing theme is producers are wanting to, identify labor as an area, and employee training along with labor compliance is an area that they want to improve. And so Milk Group developed Traintrac as an employee training tool to help address those needs. And it seems that training has become even more important in recent years. If you go ahead and advance the slide, Raphael, because...
And let me interject just for a second. So we've done market research all along, but we just did a very recent one last month or two. And training, that people need to get better with training, that came out very, very loudly, right? In that, but also that it's quite difficult to execute on it. So anyways, go ahead.
Right. And like I said, in labor is increasingly getting scarce. It's more scarce in certain parts of the country than others, but we're having greater challenges getting good skilled labor, and dairies are labor intensive, so it's very important. Other things we've heard from producers is that turnover can be high, which is costly, and especially in the milker role. Other challenges we've heard is that SOPs just aren't getting followed. But injuries, accidents, and non-compliance with regulations, is a threat for both employees and the farms. Go ahead and advance. Producers recognize that employee training is critical to their success. The dairies are labor intensive, and inefficient labor, inefficient employees, or untrained employees are inefficient, and oftentimes if they're not poorly trained, they lack confidence in their jobs, and this can result in employees leaving. And so providing good training can help keep happy employees and improve worker retention.
And that's actually been proven in several other business studies, right? That if you onboard people when they first start working for you, provide good training, the overall employee retention is dramatically improved versus just having them start working. So there's a huge benefit there.
Yeah, a lot of research around that area and to document that. Also, dairies can be dangerous just by the nature of working around big equipment, confined spaces, manure pits, working with large animals, and accidents can equal lost time and can be expensive, and also can result in expensive equipment damage. So dairy producers, have long recognized you take good care of the animals and the animals will take care of you. But the employees need to be trained around this. And unfortunately, in recent years, there's been a real attack on agriculture and the dairy industry by activists using, social media and providing, a negative impact, on consumer confidence. And as a result, consumers want to know that the dairy products they're consuming, they can trust in the quality and safety of the product. And so programs such as the National Farmers Assuring Responsible Management have come along to help communicate the true message, because there's a lot of misinformation out there, and they've provided a lot of good tools to help producers. But there's still a lot of challenges in actually, we all understand the importance, but how do we get it done?
Right. And there's the cards are kind of stacked up against this. Everybody wants to do a good job, but it's not that easy to execute on it, right?
Yeah, and we're talking about what's getting in the way of getting training done. And well, to start with, usually you've got to have a plan, and oftentimes there's not a real plan in place, and training may be not a high enough priority because you have so many priorities you're juggling. But another key thing is who's going to make sure it gets done. Having one or more people responsible for getting training done is important, but oftentimes the people that are responsible for that have a lot on their plates. So sometimes you got to figure out, hey, I've got to delegate it, or can we give these people some tools to help make training a little bit easier. And then of course it's time and scheduling. Dairies are 24/7, 365 days a year with very little downtime. And we've got, especially in the parlor, milking shifts 11 and 12 hours. How do you schedule training? And then of course having good training resources. And sometimes our best employees aren't our best trainers, and oftentimes our best trainers aren't always available to provide the training. So employees and getting consistent training can be a challenge. Another challenge is language and education barriers. Majority of dairies have Latino employees that understand very little, if any, English, and in some cases they may not even be able to read and write. So handing an employee a written SOP or protocol may not be very effective. And then finally, a lot of you are doing training and you're doing a decent job of training, but the whole documentation and record keeping is a burden that can be overwhelming. Lots of time it just doesn't get done, and it's another, real challenge with record keeping. So, we've developed Traintrac as an online training resource to help address many of these challenges.
Right, and I just got off the phone with a FARM evaluator that made exactly that point. It's like a lot of times training's being done, but it's not being recorded effectively, so therefore it doesn't comply anyway. So it's not always that these things aren't getting done. It's just not that they're getting tracked properly. And obviously, we built Traintrac for a reason, and the reason is really to overcome most of these challenges. Right now, leadership, the plan, those types of things, that's not on us. I guess we can't fix that, but time and scheduling, being consistent, dealing with the language barrier, and then of course the tracking is something where Traintrac really can help automate some things and make it a lot easier, so that it becomes a pretty manageable process for dairies to implement.
So Milk Group has made a real effort to develop tools using the latest technology to make these tools accessible. So like our other products, Traintrac is a cloud-based online platform. So it's accessible on any smart device, many of the devices that you already have, mobile phones, tablets, and computers. And it's really designed to, we've really designed it to be as easy to use as possible and easy to get set up and get started, because that addresses that first time issue. Is we all have good intentions about training, but just sometimes the whole implementation thing can be overwhelming. And so we've tried to make Traintrac as simple as possible and really make setup a breeze. We work with you, support's included with Traintrac, so we get your employees enrolled into the system and get it up and going within just a few hours.
Right, so really, for the most part, even large operations with 50, 100, 150 employees, we can get you up and running and get training assigned, get a plan put together basically within 2-3 hours of spending time with us, either over the phone or just send us some information and we set it up for you.
So one of the nice things about Traintrac is you can store all of your employee training related materials in one place. And we've developed the interface with the employee in mind. We recognize that it's got to be a bilingual interface and it has to be super easy to use. And then it can deliver all kinds of training, onboarding that new employee or that ongoing training for safety and introducing new protocols. Traintrac can deliver all of those. The nice thing, Traintrac is really optimized for video training, and video training can help ensure consistent training across employees. The other nice thing about online training is that it's self-paced, which can help improve in retention, and also helps to address the different learning styles of employees. Most people are very visual learners, but others learn good in groups, and others learn better as individuals. And Traintrac is just another tool in your tool belt to help address the different learning styles of employees. It doesn't replace in-person training, but it is a great way to help get understanding, prepare employees for in-person training, and also to reinforce the why we do things, not just the how to do things.
Yep.
So Traintrac comes with a comprehensive dairy video library included. Some of the most all the content is in English and Spanish. We have some content in the indigenous Guatemalan dialect of Quiche, which we're seeing more employees from those regions in certain parts of the United States. We have all the dairy cattle handling training that National Farm Program, the version 4.0, is looking for. Comprehensive dairy safety training that OSHA is looking for, and also best practices around the milking procedure, feeding cows, maternity, and hospital and treatments.
So yeah, it really does come with most of the shelf type of training that you can use, and that's how we can get you going so quickly, because we can assign those to the employees or the positions that need them, and very quickly roll this out on dairies. But then it's also very customizable, as you'll go over next.
Right. So, in addition to the training that comes with it, we've created an easy to use tool so that you can upload the training that is specific to your operation and your protocols. And we also can create that and upload that training in both English and Spanish, and the system helps with that process. And also has an option to include quizzes. So there's a easy to use quiz creation tool. Nice thing about quizzes, it makes the training interactive. It can be used to reinforce key learning points, and it also gives you a way to measure training effectiveness and understanding of the employee and the employee's understanding of the training.
Yeah, and our formula for trainings when we set them up is 1 to 3 minute video, and then have a engagement in form of a quiz. So people actually have to do stuff throughout the training for it to continue, and not just kick back and just read. And it looks like we have
A question. Yeah.
a question. Let me pull that up. Do you want to write that in, or you can also unmute yourself if you would like to just ask the question.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, this is Luciana with Diamond J Dairy, and my question was, if the video is recorded in Spanish, is it then translated into English? And then vice versa, if it's recorded in English, it's then translated into Spanish and with some sort of subtitles or something?
So the answer is that we have all of the above. So most of the content that is included in the library is recorded in both English and Spanish. Couple of them may have subtitles. It's recorded in Spanish with subtitles in English.
Sorry, my question was, if I upload a video, like you had suggested that there's a tool to upload your own customized video.
Right.
If I were to upload that video and I was speaking in Spanish, would it translate it to English, or?
Oh, I see. Yeah, no, not automatically. So we haven't gotten that good yet. Yeah, so no, we don't do the automatic translation of the content, but we create so like for the quizzes, you would create the quiz in English, and then we have a kind of a wizard that walks you through, but you do have to provide the translation. Now outside of Traintrac, we can help in this area in helping with some of the translations and helping you develop some of the content. That's something else that we can help you do, though.
Right, but you would have to do 2 different voiceovers, and then you just replace the English one with the Spanish one when you set it up.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
does that answer your question?
Yes, thanks.
Perfect.
All right, I think we can move to the next slide, Raphael.
Okay. There we go.
So, but one of the really nice things about Traintrac is that it does a really good job of tracking and documenting your training. So with a nice dashboard, so you can see at any point in time who needs training, who's completed training. It includes both individualized and group tracking and reporting. There's also training analytics so that you can see how employees are doing, especially around quizzes and understanding of the content. And with Traintrac, all training is retained. You have a complete training history retention system there. Even for employees that are no longer in your operation, that their training history is retained.
Yeah, and here's just an example of one of the PDFs that you can generate with the system. So if you want to hand it to a third party, basically you just have the names across the top, the trainings that you have within the system that's active on the left-hand side, and then it gives you, they're either completed or they're still pending or they're in progress or they may not have been assigned to that particular person. But you can generate these types of reports very, very quickly to show all the training progress.
So Traintrac has been delivering training, and as we've talked to more producers, some other features they would like around employee training was the ability for some document storage. So we developed this new feature, we call it resources, and this is a place where we can help keep the employees informed. We can stay compliant with sharing the information, a lot of the information that we are supposed to be posting and sharing, such as our safety data sheets and emergency contact numbers and things like that. We've made this resource searchable so that it's very powerful. It's very easy to find information quickly. And it's just another way we are helping to store all the information around employee training and labor in one place.
Yeah, and it's also things where you can upload things like the employee handbook, SOPs, and employees have access to Traintrac. They would always be able to just pull that information up at any point in time.
Yeah, so on this next slide, this is an example of a safety data sheet. So you can upload a safety data sheet. You all have to have a safety data sheet binder. That's probably collecting dust in an employee break room someplace, but you can upload PDF copies of those data sheets and load them here. And then on the next slide shows examples of where you could upload your employee handbook, make that readily accessible. You could have emergency contact numbers, specific protocols. It really is unlimited, the type of documents that you could upload and share here.
Right, and so then for employees, usually we print out cards for them with their username and password when they first get on. As long as they have that and you show them how to get onto the platform, whether it's through their own phone or through a tablet in the break room or a desktop computer, all that access is there, right?
Right.
It's pretty simple.
And then another feature that we created and just recently released is we call it Report an Incident. This is a feature that you have the option of turning on or off within Traintrac, but we just try to create a tool to make it very easy, especially around OSHA recording compliance, to be able to record a workplace incident, whether it be an injury, illness, some type of hazard or near miss. We just set it up to create a super simple form that any employee could fill out, and then when they hit submit, it's automatically emailed to the designated managers in Traintrac. And so in the next screen, it just shows an example of the form. So it's just a simple form. Try to make it super easy to record it so that these types of incidents are recorded in a timely manner. And then in the little subset there, you can see an example, part of what a report would look like in an email message to designated managers. So this is just, like I say, an option that can be turned on or off. And the whole idea there is just to help with getting these incidents documented in a timely manner.
Very good. Yeah, and I don't think we showed that in this presentation, but you can toggle between the platform doing everything in English or everything in Spanish. And actually, when you first invite people or employees into the platform, that's when you designate is their primary language English or Spanish, and then whenever they log in, then it's already in that language. So.
Yeah, very good. Thanks. So Traintrac is a subscription-based product, and it includes full support. So we stand behind the product, and we're here and available to help you make Traintrac successful and support you in using it. It's based on per active user. There's no setup fee, and so you have setup assistance and ongoing remote support is included. We continue to enhance Traintrac and add new features, and those updates and features are at no additional charge. You have the ability to manage the subscription yourself, so if you need to increase or decrease the number of users, you can do that. You can ask us to help you, or you can do it yourself. And it's month to month, so you can cancel at any time.
Right. Yeah, and also as far as the support does include that if there's a certain type of training you're looking for, a lot of times we can find that open source somewhere and upload it for you. If you wanted a real customized option, or you want a customized translation, those types of things, then we can do that for you, but there's an additional fee that's outside of the subscription. But yeah, so the question is, what is the price per active user? So it's $10 per month per user, or I guess if you want to do round figures, it's $120 a year per employee, if you match those up, or whoever you pull into that. So yeah. Anyways, I think that's all we had, right? If there's any questions, we're happy to answer those. Otherwise, we can all go back to our day jobs. Okay, thanks. The service outside are wondering. The services outside of that, they're really a quotation, because it just depends on if you just want a simple translation, or you want us to actually help with video editing, photo editing. So that ends up being project based, but it would all be upfront discussed, of course. Any other questions? All right. If you got any questions later on, you can go to milkgroup.com, get a hold of us through that, or call us directly, and or send us an email. So we'll get back to you real quick. And we can always do individualized demos. We do that a lot, to see if this program or any of our other products make sense for you. We can usually show you pretty much what it's going to be like, so you know exactly what you're getting into. All right. With that, did you have any closing statements, Jennifer?
No, I just want to thank everyone for joining us today. Again, just reiterating what Raphael said. If you have any questions, or if you just like to see a demo, poke around in Traintrac, or if you want to learn a little bit more about these new features, if you are already a Traintrac user, please reach out. Be happy to go over all that with you.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend. Stay warm, and keep making milk. We love it. So we'll talk to you later.